I really, really believe that if you treat people with respect and you bring people together and you put one strategy down, you can literally do anything. So we did the impossible during COVID, which is basically we racked and stacked the whole trading floor within a week. It's never been done before. And, the way that we did it was so structured that we knew every single piece of inventory, where it was going, every home it was going to. We knew everything that every single person was doing within my remit, and it was tightly controlled.
Where did the passion stem from? Or what drives you towards this commitment to, giving it back? And most importantly, given your dynamic role at the position that you are today, how do you find the balance? And, if you could explain how you do it and why you do it.
I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like I have a calling in life to literally change the world. Like, I won't sleep until I've done it. And when my grandmother was young, she never had an education. She couldn't read or write. She's from Baghdad. She's Kurdish. And she would beg us grandkids to teach her to read and write. And I really wanted to be able to give women all over the world the toolkit to literally do anything.
I want to understand from you what's next for Linoy Kidd.
For me, I'm just going to continue what I do. I'm going to continue to make this impact on the community. I think it's my calling and I'm not going to stop. And I've made a pledge that I'm going to build a school every year till I die.
Hi, you're watching The Mainstream. I am Simran Shiwalkarv, your host for today, and we are back with a new episode from our exclusive series called Voice of CIO. Today, I have with me a true Wonder Woman in tech, Miss Linoy Kidd. Well, Linoy needs no introduction. Her remarkable work and her contribution in the tech space as well as outside is already known by a lot of people. I will still take this opportunity to share a few things about her. Linoy Kidd is the Chief Information Officer at GBM, which is the Gulf Business Machines, overseeing the Menat region, where she drives the digital transformation and innovation efforts for the organization. With nearly 2 decades at HSBC, Linoy has held leadership roles including Global Head and CIO of Markets and Security Services Menat, gaining diverse experiences across UK, Hong Kong, China, Mexico, as well as the UAE. Her international background has given her the ability to build and lead high-performing teams across multiple geographies. Outside her professional achievements, Linoy is also passionate about giving it back to the society. She has helped build 8 schools across Africa, Haiti, and Nicaragua, and she has also contributed to the construction of a home for the homeless in Mexico. Her expertise spans across banking, business analysis, project management, and more, making her a true versatile and visionary leader in the tech and financial sectors. Today, we are truly excited to know more about her journey, her inspiration, as well as her perspective on the emerging technologies that we hear about daily. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Linoy, firstly, thank you so much for joining us and being a part of this episode. We are truly delighted to have this conversation.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. With that being said, I understand that you have had an incredible journey and a career at HSBC more than 18 years, or almost 2 decades now. So, across 5 countries, if you could tell us a bit about how this journey began, what led to the role of becoming a CIO, and also, in particular, what drew you to the world of finance and technology.
Yeah, actually, the journey's been incredible. I started HSBC in my 20s on the trading floor in FX options in London, and then made my way to Hong Kong and China, Mexico, and now I'm in Dubai. I think what makes HSBC so special is it is a global bank, and therefore there is remit to do so much and make so much change. So if you think about the change that we've been through and the transformation that we've been through, it's beyond words, to be honest. And it's been an amazing journey, and I'm very privileged to be able to have led so many people across the globe effectively.
Thank you so much for giving us a glimpse of your journey, Linoy. And I don't mean to sidetrack, but again, I am very curious. I understand as a CIO for the business machines in the MENAT region, you've held a lot of responsibilities managing a dynamic and high pressure environment. From the perspective of being a woman leader in this space, what does your typical day look like? How do you stay on top of trends or, with a lot of responsibilities on you, with a lot of areas to look after? How does your day look like?
Well, it depends what the day is going to throw at you, right? But basically, I have to ensure that every single trading system for the Middle East is working accurately. So resiliency is absolutely key for us. But alongside that, we need to ensure that the strategy that the business want to put into place, be that 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, that we're completely hand in hand with the business and partnership with them so that they can do business growth. And that is something that over the past 5 years of my tenure here in Dubai, and we've managed to grow that business. I also started here at the cusp of COVID. So we had to work incredibly fast to ensure that the business could run the whole operation from home, which had never been done before. So we've seen, the business go through what I would call turbulent times, but the business itself has been incredibly resilient, and that is down to the technology that we provide.
Great. And along these lines, Liloy, I understand you've built teams in different parts of the world and each with its own set of unique challenges. What's your approach when it comes to building or creating high performing teams? Because you've worked for different geographies, there's a difference of culture as well. So, considering all these aspects, how different is your approach when it comes to building these teams?
It's very strange, right? Because if you think about it, every culture is different. Every person is different. Every person on the planet has a story and everyone has a place in it. So whenever I take on a new team, be that in China or Mexico, etc., I always want to understand how the team works currently and how each individual, how they're thinking, so you can tap into the potential of that person. So for me, it's very important that you tap into the mind and heart of every person in that team so that they give you 150% of what they can give you. And that basically means that you have the right people in the right place in the right location. And every place that I've been to, I have to adapt the management style. So I'll give you an example. When I went to Hong Kong, so I went from London to Hong Kong, and London is very, very delivery focused and very aggressive. So, I'd have the head trader ringing me on a Monday saying, I asked for a report on Friday. Where's my report? And if it's not there, then he'd start banging the desk, where is it? Where is it? Give it to me. But when I went to Hong Kong, I became that aggressive. The aggressiveness of the trading floor, I almost took that inside and became that. So I had an SLA in my head, I've got to reply in 15 seconds to every email that comes from the trading floor. And, I was basically going to bed, reading my emails, making sure there was no emergency. And I'd get woken up in the middle of the night by the head of trading in Hong Kong. Please fix this, please fix that. So it was a very, very high maintenance, kind of like high end, what I would call high touch with the users. But when I went to Hong Kong, I loved working with the people in Hong Kong because they are completely delivery focused without the aggression. So you can say to them, please do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to shout. You just use the word please. And honestly, the work gets done. So it's a completely different mindset. And the other thing is in Hong Kong, people don't tend to tell you what they're feeling or give you a solution unless you ask for it. So in a meeting, you have to say, please tell me what you're thinking. They're not going to give you that information. You have to pull it. It's like a push, pull, push, pull. So you have to pull it, pull it, pull it. But what you pull is genius. So you continuously pull on that. So it's been a very interesting cultural journey. The same thing in China, you had to pull. So it's very interesting for me. And also I never get bored because I have to continuously think about my leadership, how I'm leading, and then transpose that and change that depending on the location that I'm in, which means that for me, I continuously grow as a person and continuously grow in my remit as CIO, which is incredible in a way. So I'm forever grateful to HSBC to sending me to all these different cultural hotspots.
Superb. And Linoy, I've also known about your unique leadership style. I mean, when it comes to the hierarchy or the transparency level, you like to collaborate with the teams, you like to understand, what's going on across these departments. So, how has this built up your leadership perspective over the years at HSBC or throughout your career?
So I talk about this a lot. You've probably seen a lot of podcasts where I talk about leadership, what makes a high performing team, how to tap into the minds and souls of people to get 150% out of them, making sure they're in the right place at the right time with the right skill set. And also about keeping people motivated. So one of the reasons that HSBC has retained me for 18 years because I'm continuously motivated. They're continuously changing my role so that I'm continuously motivated. So in terms of that mentality and in terms of that leadership, and also if I can link it to the work that I do outside, I really, really believe that if you treat people with respect and you bring people together and you put one strategy down, you can literally do anything. So we did the impossible during COVID, which is basically we racked and stacked the whole trading floor within a week. It's never been done before. And, the way that we did it was so structured that we knew every single piece of inventory, where it was going, every home it was going to. We knew everything that every single person was doing within my remit. And it was tightly controlled and it was very, very well executed. And I'd only been with the team 3 weeks. So imagine I had a new team. We had a pandemic and it was a crisis situation. And if I couldn't lead from the front, I would be in big, big trouble. So that's how I use my leadership qualities is basically I won't ask anybody in my team to do something that I won't do. And I will make sure that they are they're protected and we will deliver together. And I've been doing this for years now and we have delivered on multiple occasions. So because that is ingrained in the ethos of what we do as a team and what I do as a leader, that reputation is there. And I'm very proud of everything that we've done over the 18 years.
I mean, it's really wonderful because I think as a leader, it's very important to have that kind of openness. It actually encourages a lot of members or a lot of, individuals to come and give out their opinions and ideas, which can, in a later phase lead to a lot of growth and innovation for, large corporations like HSBC. So thank you once again. The next question that I have for you, your philanthropic efforts like building schools and homes for the homeless, as well as, all of this, the way you're working towards a social cause, it's very, very inspiring. We've also heard about the team's recent visit to Nepal. So where did the passion stem from, or what drives you towards this commitment to, giving it back? And most importantly, given your dynamic role at the position that you are today, how do you find the balance? And, if you could explain how you do it and why you do it.
Actually, when I was 16, I had a dream that I wanted to build schools in Africa. It was a dream of mine. And then, life takes over, right? So you go to university and I had a child and I and then I wanted to provide for my daughter. So I just went into the provide mentality of parenthood. And then when she left home, it kind of gave me like a lot of free time that I wasn't with her. And then I was like, I really, really, really need to give back. Like, I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like I have a calling in life to literally change the world. Like, I won't sleep until I've done it. And when my grandmother was young, she never had an education. She couldn't read or write. She's from Baghdad. She's Kurdish. And she would beg us grandkids to teach her to read and write. And I really wanted to be able to give women all over the world the toolkit to literally do anything. And that's basically what we went and did. So 10 years ago, I was on a management training course and I was part of that managing training course with IDG. You have to do a program and that program takes 1 year. And I was losing sleep at night. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then I woke up in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. Oh, I'm going to build a school. I'm going to ask them to build it with me. So I emailed at 3 a.m., imagine, the managing director of that course. And I said, I've got this crazy idea. It's never been done before. What do you think? And he said, it's very crazy, but if you can convince people to do it, I'm going to give you time at lunch on the next course and you can pitch it. So he gave me this 10 minutes pitch at lunchtime, and I basically convinced everyone on that course. So there was 38 people on that course to walk 100 kilometers with me nonstop. We raise money, and then we go to Africa together and build a school. Everyone was like, yeah, we're in, clap, standing ovation. It was like pivotal moment of my life, changing people in the room, changing lives, etc. And we did it. So we walked 100 kilometers over 26 hours. And then we went to Africa and built the school. And then at the end of the course, the same guy said, oh, Linoy, this is amazing, but do you think you can keep it going? And I love a challenge. So it's like hell to the yes. So the next year we walked 100 kilometers in 3 different locations, raised enough money for 2 new schools, and then just kept going and going and going. And since then, we've basically built 6 schools in Africa. So 4 in Malawi, 1 in Ghana, 1 in Senegal, 1 in Nepal, 1 in Nicaragua, and 1 in Nepal, and a house for the homeless in Mexico. Because when I was in Mexico, I wanted to walk and raise money for Mexico. I didn't want to raise money for Africa in Mexico because there's a lot of homeless in Mexico. They really need help. So I really wanted to give back to the community. And we made it happen. It's been an amazing journey. It's probably it's my legacy. I always tell people, what's your legacy? And basically, if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, I'm going to be dying happy because I've done, my dream, which is basically to give as many women around the world education as possible. And these schools not only educate the children, but they let women who have had, teenage pregnancy, not only teenage pregnancy, but also, mothers, grandmothers to go back to after school and they get to do their high school diploma. So it's like, it's amazing. And I go to sleep, happy that
Absolutely.
I've made that change. But the world needs a lot of change, so there's also a lot more to do.
Of course, I think in your case, of course, one school at a time, maybe.
Yeah, one brick at a time, we call it one step at a time, one brick at a time.
But I think it is beautiful how this inspiration has stemmed in from your early childhood, where you observe the women around you and being, having that special emphasis for empowering women. We often hear the buzz or the common dialogue, for women in tech. They are perceived differently, or their opinions, or their work is perceived differently, even for women in the field of AI innovation. Do you think this is somehow changing? What was 10 years down the line is now different.
Yeah, I think it's very different. So if you think about it, I was in my 20s when I started in London a long time ago now, we're talking plus 25 years ago. And I had to, if I think about my evolution, I'm a little bit flabbergasted by what I had to go through, you know what I mean? But on the other side, I'm so happy about where we are now because it is well perceived in the organization, in multiple organizations, that you need diversity, that you need different voice, that it's okay to be a woman. You can dress like a woman. You don't have to dress like a man. You don't have to be like a man. You don't have to go to you don't have to do the things that you thought that you had to do, which is what I thought I had to do when I started out 20 years ago. And our voice is heard at the table. And I just don't, for me, I feel I have a voice and people listen. And I'm very happy about that. I think the evolution that we've gone on has just been incredible. And I think that although, yes, there is a lot more to do, don't get me wrong, there definitely is. And we need to have women at the board, and we need to have, more women at the MD level, etc., etc. But it's been incredible. It's been an incredible change. And I think we're in a really, really good place. I feel personally that I'm in a really good place, and that I feel like listened to. And when I talk, people listen. And that's a privilege. That's an incredible privilege to get to.
Absolutely, Linoy. And I think it gives you the privilege where, you can be heard and you can be considered being a women leader in this space. And coming back to your experience, Linoy, you have worked in various aspects for the finance sector, from foreign exchange operations to electronic trading as well. All these technologies are always, popping up. There's always something or the other coming up. So against this background, how do you see all of this impacting the future of finance, especially maybe what's the vision when it comes comes to the fintech or the entire financial sectors in the next few years, according to you?
I think it's a very exciting time, and I'm a big proponent for AI. I think that technology is going to change the way that we work for the better. And I'm going to give you an example, right? It's a feel-good factor example. So when I was in Hong Kong, I had this graduate who I mentored. And actually, I kind of mentored her to be the next me. Do you know what I mean? Like I took her under my wing and I'm like, you are going to be me in 10, 20 years time. Anyway, after a few years, she said, Linoy, I want to leave. And I got so upset by it because I wanted her to stay that I thought, how can I? And the reason that she wanted to leave was because she wanted to experience what's out there, which every graduate wants to do, including myself, right? So when you go into an industry and you do 4 or 5 years there, you do want to experience what's out there and then see, you want to kind of grow, and fly, which I totally understand. But I was devastated because she was an amazing worker and I didn't want to lose her. So I thought, what can I do? So I partnered with Microsoft and I said, let's do a graduate program together. So we do 6 months HSBC, 6 months Microsoft. And then at the end of that time, they can decide where they want to go. And it's kind of like baking in the loyalty and giving them choice. So if they decide to go HSBC, they'll stay. If they decide to go Microsoft, they'll stay because they've already had that taste. Anyway, it was a very nice program, and Microsoft taught them in AI and cloud, Azure, etc. And it was such a nice program. But Microsoft, this is what I love about working with different organizations. They used AI, listen to this is amazing, to find missing children in China based off the irises. Wow. So children had gone missing and they could use AI to find those children. And that's when I started to really believe that technology can be used for good. And it can. And we're at the cusp of an amazing change.
I definitely agree with you, Linoy, 100%, because I think the example that you just quoted, a technology being used to track children or anything else for that matter that we hear, the future certainly looks bright with technology emerging every new day. Well, that being said, Linoy, your journey has been incredibly inspirational for every woman and to all of us, now reflecting on your own journey. Any key recommendations or any word of advice that you could give to our female young audience today for them to make their mark in this space of technology and innovation, how they can go about this journey and navigate their own challenges? If you could share that with us today.
Yeah, so my advice to you is turn up to work. Ask yourself what you're going to learn today. Ask yourself who you're going to help today and dig deep inside yourself and say, I am going to turn up and be 100% authentic and I'm going to work as hard as I can. I'm going to give 150%. And the advice that I would give myself is everything's going to be okay. And for those that are listening that are just starting, is let's say you're a graduate, etc. I am telling you, everything is going to be okay. Because every year that has passed, I've learned more, not just about the world, but also about myself. I know how I can work and live in unity and in peace with what I do, not only within the bank, but also outside of the bank. And everything that I do is around making sure that you partner with the business, making sure that you are part of their strategy, that you will tap into the minds and souls of the people that you have working for you so that they can give 150%. And therefore the delivery will go up. And not only that, the impact that we have on the communities that we do the work that we do in is having an impact. So it's like impact within impact within impact. So the way that I look at it is you have a circle, we're making an impact in Africa. Then you have a circle, we're making an impact in the Middle East. And then you have a circle and we're making an impact in South America. So all these impacts are having this tremendous effect on the world. And it's almost like everything has a meaning and everything has a purpose. So that's what I'm saying to you. When you start in your chosen fields, just make sure that you learn every day, that you are humble in your job, and that you help as many people as you can, and everything will be okay.
Linoy, once again, thank you so much for this wonderful piece of advice. And thank you once again. Lastly, Linoy, because I've already said it and I've already highlighted it, that your journey has been incredibly inspirational and overwhelming, exciting at the same time. I want to understand from you what's next for Linoy Kidd.
I ask myself this question every day. I just want to do more and more, and you have to kind of stop me. Like there's only enough time in the day, right? But I want to branch out. I want to build orphanages. But I also have a family of my own, so I have to make sure that I'm raising my son. And, my son is only 3, right? So he still needs his mum. So every year I have to go build his schools, and I have to, basically leave my son for a week. And it's very, very tough on me to do that. But I know that I'm doing it for a greater cause. Yeah, so for me, I'm just going to continue what I do. I'm going to continue to make this impact on the community. I think it's my calling, and I'm not going to stop. And I've made a pledge that I'm going to build a school every year till I die. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's really wonderful, Linoy. And, I am really running out for words. But, like they say, every day you find inspiration somewhere or the other. I think today for me, the only source of inspiration has been this conversation itself.
It's nice. It's nice to talk to you.
But on an honest note, thank you so much for being a part of the series, for sharing your journey with us, giving some critical insights, highlighting some aspects, and also sharing your thoughts behind the work that you do. So it has really been a wonderful session for me today, and I'm sure not just me, but a lot of our viewers and audience have a lot to take away from this session. So thank you once again, Linoy, for being a part of this episode. While we wrap up, I most certainly look forward to having more such conversations with you. So thank you once again.
No problem. No problem. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.